Hello everyone, and welcome to another Fight Night Legends Top 3 Decks video. In this series, we follow Fight Night Legends each and every single week. We look at the top performing decks, most popular, and decks to watch of the most recent Fight Night Legends. Before we get into the video, take a second to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all of our Legends of Runeterra content. Check out the links in the description to find our social media pages. We've got a lot of folks working behind the scenes to keep the content flowing and to allow for our weekly Legends of Runeterra tournaments. Fight Night Legends is a 2-deck no-ban format. This allows players to build a lineup with whatever they believe is the strongest deck without the fear of their best deck getting banned. In this type of format, you may find that players will build a lineup around one of their decks where the second deck checks the weaknesses of the first, while others may bring a more standard 2-solid deck lineup. Now, let's get into it. In third place this week, we have Winding God. No stranger to success in the format, his lineup consisted of Nightfall Aggro and Twisted Fate Pirates. He was the only player to have success with the double aggro lineup. Placing second is Sharkgui, who brought an incredibly spicy Fearsome aggro list with Relentless Pursuit as well as Diana Lee Sin. Taking home the trophy was Swim, who also brought Diana Lee Sin as well as Discard Aggro. Swim, along with Sharkgui, will be returning to Fight Night this week, where they get another shot to fight for a win. We know who came out victorious this week, but the real question is, which decks performed? Starting things off this week, we have Relentless Fearsome Aggro coming in as our number 3 deck. A beatdown deck that aims to push through its damage by flooding the board with fearsome units so it can sneak in huge hits while the enemy shields are down with Relentless Pursuit. The deck is heavily punishing to other decks that are simply not prepared for the aggression. The format has a handful of decks filled with low power units. Those builds flat out have very few ways to profitably block fearsome units, and as such are food for the Fearsome Aggro deck. We have seen Spider Burn in past weeks of Fight Night, and Fearsome Aggro seems to be another variant of the archetype. While this style of aggro deck has not been incredibly popular in the past, it does seem to be a potent strategy. Brought by 2 players this week as well as taking home first place, Discard Aggro is one of the most lethal burns in the format and is our number 2 deck this week. The deck has incredible amounts of card draw with Jinx, Rummage, and Augmented Experimenter. What makes Discard Aggro so explosive are the openers it can have where it cheats on mana early by setting up Jury Rig, Flame Chompers, or Visions. These openers, backed by large crowd favorites, can apply significant pressure early that will kill the opponent before they even begin to regain balance. While Discard Aggro has not been a common pick recently, it has a potent game plan, lethal champions, and an abundance of way to force through damage. This archetype is likely to show its face again in future weeks of Fight Night, but may not do so too soon. And our number 1 deck this week for Fight Night Legends number 13 was Diana Lee Sin. Could Diana Lee be the next step of the Lee Sin combo's progression? We've already seen Lee Sin assert himself as the strongest combo deck in the format, but the deck did have clear weaknesses. Most notably, the deck struggles to handle aggression and lacks hard removal. Diana seems to slot in well, checking these weaknesses. She acts as decent removal in the early turns of the game, as well as a solid blocker. Her champion spell, Pale Cascade, is one of the strongest cards in the Lee Sin deck, making her even more valuable to the archetype. It will be interesting to continue following Lee Sin to see how the archetype will continue to adapt. It is also yet to be seen if the Lee combo will find success in the new format that we will be entering with the release of Monuments of Power. Fight Night 13 was certainly an interesting one. When you compare it to Fight Night 12, you can really see the evolution of the format. Last week, the format was dominated by Pirate Aggro with some experimentation with Solo Lee and Zed Lee. This week, we see a clear path that Lee decks are moving towards, as well as reactions to the Pirate Aggro Menace, which, while popular, did not find great success this week. What decks do you see having success this week with the release of Monuments of Power? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for future Giant Slayer LoR content.